Welcome to Gospel Tangents, the best source for Mormon history, science, and theology. I'm Rick Bennett. There are many people who wondered how Mark kept his secret forgeries from his wife, Dorie. Brent Ashworth was among those who questioned. In our final episode with Brent, we're going to talk about how he decided to apologize to Dorie for his thoughts about her involvement. Check out our conversation.
Right before Sotheby's put that out, they got another one that I think also came from Morrill, and I knew this was a Hofmann original too.
Now, what is that?
Well, this is one you won't read about, but I can tell you about it because I have the catalog. Is Nathan Hale. If you remember Nathan Hale, I only regret I have one life to give for my country.
Oh.
From the Revolutionary War. Extremely rare autograph. I've never seen a real one for sale. And that's saying something. 65 years of collecting. Uh-huh. I've never seen a real Nathan Hale. Well, this is a partly printed reward of merit because Hale was a school teacher assigned to a student, in 1774. And I just had a funny feeling that this was a Hofmann original. Plus, there was one other. There was and I think it was in this sale.
Have you been able to verify that?
Huh?
You haven't been able to verify that?
Oh, yeah, they did. They verified it later that it was
a Hofmann.
Yeah, and then there was a third one, a Daniel Boone note. Yeah, here it is. Same catalog. Also a Hofmann original.
Are these the catalogs that were found burned up in his trunk of his car?
No, but they were like this. This is 10 years later.
Okay.
This is 97.
Well, Brent Ashworth, now do you allow visitors here? Do you like people to come?
All the time, you bet.
So how should they contact you if they want to come see some of this stuff?
Call me. I've got...
Can I just show your business card?
Please, take a few extras. Okay. Here's some more.
Sure.
You bet. I got a couple since you were here the other day that want to come through, and a couple I had.
So this is kind of by appointment only kind of a thing?
Well, right during the pandemic, we're trying to be a little more careful about things.
Right.
I mean, I've tested negative twice, so I think I'm okay, but I don't want to give anybody anything. I want them to give
and you've
us
been vaccinated.
Yeah, I've been vaccinated.
And I'm halfway there.
Yeah. So that's we want to see everybody vaccinated, and I think in another 2 months everybody should have an opportunity. I hope.
Yeah, I hear April 1st.
To get vaccinated.
At least in Utah. I don't know. I can't speak for other places. But.
Yeah, we probably won't travel too much. We are planning a trip to Florida in mid-April, so I'm hoping to see our son down there. But hoping by then my wife can get a shot because she's had COVID, and you have to wait 90 days. And it'll be 90 days the day before we leave, so we're hoping she can get a shot then. So.
Well, great. Well, Brent Ashworth, thank you so much for sitting down and sharing these amazing stories. It's been fantastic here on Gospel Tangents.
Well, thanks for listening to me. Yeah, I appreciate it, and you're very professional. And I had an opportunity of watching the one you did on Shannon, the one you did on Throckmorton, and now I didn't realize you'd done Dorie. I'll have to go see that one.
You definitely have to watch Dorie. Yeah, it's great.
I went to Dorie's house. Did I tell you this? About 3 years after Mark went to prison. I don't know if I told you this. This is, to me, was meaningful, but it took me about 3 years. I always thought Mark was using his wife, that she was in on some of this because she was so near to it. And I was kind of taking it out mentally on his wife, on Dorie, for those years. Finally, it dawned on me, it takes me a little while, but finally it dawned on me that she was just as much in the dark as the rest of us, even though she's right next to him. And that I'd been kind of blaming her, or I shouldn't have blamed her for any part in it. And I felt guilty, and I thought, I need to go apologize to Dorie. So it was 1990, it's 3 years after Hofmann's gone to the slammer. And I go up to her house, and same door, she's behind the screen, and I think she was a little surprised to see me. I says, Dorie, there's something I just wanted to chat with you about for a minute, if you don't mind. And she let me in. And I told her, I said, I've had some real hard feelings towards you now for about the last 3 years. And it finally dawned on me after thinking about it more and reading about more about your situation and so on. And she told me that she was in kind of dire straits financially and that she was having to move out of that home and that she changed her name back to her maiden name of Olds, but she kept the kid's name as Hofmann in school. I didn't know why, but anyway, that was the thing. And I told her, I says, I really feel bad the way I've thought about you, and I came up here to apologize. And so that's what I'm here for. And at any rate, I left her a little money too because I felt like she needed a little help. That was just sort of incidental to it. But I felt much better after that. After having gone and done that, because it took me that long to realize that she was a victim too.
She was.
And sometimes you can be too close to a situation to see the forest for the trees. And I realized finally after 3 years that she was every bit as big a victim or bigger than the rest of us. So I needed to go apologize. So at any rate, that's the end of the story. So.
Well, thanks for sharing that. So, and I'll just recommend to everybody out there, go check out that Dorie Hofmann or Dorie Old's video. It's pretty.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm going to watch it. I enjoyed her interview the other day, and my wife and I watched that.
Yeah,
it was very good. And
yeah,
I know that when Sanders had brought us together about 20th anniversary, and Dorie, that was the first time I'd seen Dorie since and we were put on a panel, me and Kurt and her. It may have been somebody else too. On that, we talked a little about things, and I remember Dorie saying when they were asking, the only issue that was left was motive, and so they were asking about what was Hofmann's motive, and they asked went to Dorie first, and she says, "Oh well, he loved the money and the publicity." That was basically what she said.
Mm-hmm.
And it dawned on me at that time that she was more in the dark than I was.
Yeah.
Which happens, and with people closest to you, which is actually a compliment to her for the type of wife that she was, because she was loyal to him and all that without knowing, what was going on. And he was using her just like everybody else in some ways. But I realized that I knew more about Mark's dealings than she did, He was trying to hurt people's testimony. He was trying to do a lot more. He was trying to change history. You notice how he changed that on the tape the other day when you were listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, maybe I was trying. Well, yeah, sure he was trying to change her history. He heard a lot of people's testimonies. I was serving as a bishop at the time. I mentioned Sheets was, and Christians, and all three of us were bishops at the time, which I've always thought was an interesting parallel. And in my own ward, I was in a student ward at BYU, and I had students as counselors. And I remember one of the student counselors came in one day and said that his parents had actually been to the branch in New York that they were members of at the time, and the branch presidency had walked out, told them that they all felt like they couldn't continue to serve because of I think it had to do with the Cowdery history, which Mark had planted that story, about the church hiding the Cowdery history, which doesn't exist. I mean, it's never been found. And their branch president walked right out with his counselors, so we're done, with the church. And so I know there were people that lost their testimonies during that period. And some were maybe not that dramatic, but people were hurt in the church at the time. I know when President Hinckley went to conference the next time, he talked a little about that, and about how some people built their testimonies on sand, I remember, as he said. And how do they feel now that we've found that the one bad guy did all this stuff, And of course, it reminds you of that scripture, that we have in the Book of Mormon about not knowing the extent of one bad guy's, or the DNC, but the extent of one bad guy's perfidy, and really true in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
One guy could do this much damage to people. I mean, I probably lost more money than anybody else except for maybe the church in this. I know I lost more than Al Rust, but Al was hurt worse by it. Because Al, my losses a lot were items I paid for, but were trades. Al's was this heavy cash deal he had to, got hit with. But, and I don't say that in any way. That's nothing to brag about at all. I'm just saying that we were hurt really bad and financially, but it didn't affect me as much as it would have Al, because he had his head on the line, with banks to repay all of that.
Right.
But the combination of losing all those sums and then losing our son's life was just a horrible time. And I remember I got a letter from President Hinckley right after that saying these have put terrible burdens on you. But, you know, he blessed me that we got through it okay. And, you know, we were able to get through it. I don't know how okay we were, but we got through it. And I do, the good Lord had blessed us to get through it, because otherwise we probably wouldn't have made it. Mm-hmm. So I've got obviously a wonderful wife who put up with all that and still stuck with me. So mm-hmm. So that's been great. But anyway, I appreciate the interview. So,
yeah.
Thanks.
Well, once again, thank you for sitting here with Gospel Tangents. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I hope you enjoyed our conversation with Brent Ashworth. Brent, thank you so much for sitting down with me, sharing all these amazing stories. And I know you even got more, but it was fantastic. Also, thank you for letting me give away a couple of your books. So Show and Tell and William McClellan's Lost Manuscript. So really appreciate your generosity, and would love to go into lunch with you and George Throckmorton sometime if I can ever get that chance. So anyway, thanks again. I really appreciate it. In our next conversation, I'm excited to introduce Dr. Stephen Harper. He's an expert on the first vision, and we'll find out more, actually, if he had anything to do or had read any of the Hofmann forgeries.
I did. Even as a teenager, I was reading Hofmann forgeries, unbeknownst to me, until sadly he killed a couple of people, as you know.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to hear the entire interview uncut, sign up at patreon.com/gospeltangents, and for $5 a month you can hear the entire interview without any interruptions. If you'd like to see the whole video, that's just $8 a month, and you can sign up either at youtube.com/gospeltangents or on our website at gospeltangents.com and click the yellow subscribe button. Or you can go to patreon.com/gospeltangents, and I'll just need to make sure that we're Facebook friends, and I'll add you to our insiders group, and you can see the entire interview uncut. If you'd like to get PDF transcripts of our interviews, those are just $10 a month. And for just $15 a month, I will send you paperback versions of our transcripts as soon as they come out. Or, of course, you can buy them on Amazon as well. Go to Amazon.com and do a search for Gospel Tangents interview, and you can see all of our transcripts there. Don't forget to sign up for our updates at Facebook.com/gospeltangents. Of course, you can follow us at Gospel Tangents on Twitter. To hear our interviews updated to your podcast player, go to tinyurl.com/gospeltangents, and make sure you give us a 5-star review. And of course, you should show your support for Gospel Tangents with one of these cool t-shirts, like this green one, or light blue, sport gray, royal blue, purple, of course black, beautiful gold, and of course Utah red. I've probably left out some colors, but if you want to see more, go to gospeltangents.com/shop, and you can get one of these. So once again, thanks for listening. Click here to subscribe, here for a transcript, and over here we've got some more of our great videos. Thanks again.